call Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders, the great millstone, peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the speckled bird. Also, quick video here. See, everybody's talking about the mark of the beast. All right, check it out.
Are the entities and the forces behind digital ID? I've mapped it out. The top four are the UN, the WEF, the World Bank, and the ID 2020. Let me take you through it. So the first main culprit who kind of started a lot of this is the United Nations. They have sustainable development goals, and in 16.9, they state by 2030, they want to provide legal identity for all, including birth registration. These UN agencies want to frame digital ID as necessary to participate in the digital economy to access services. This is how they're going to lock you in. Now, the UN is working closely with the World Bank. The World Bank has a program called Identification for Development, or ID4D. This promotes biometric digital ID systems for low and middle income countries. They're always going to start with them because it's easier to get them to comply and to roll it out. And they'll gradually work their way up to the first world countries. The top donors of this program, the usual suspect, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the UK government, the French government, Norway, and the Ahmadiyar Network. This was created by the eBay founder. They call it a philanthropy, but they have a goal to hardwire humanity toward a digital future. That sounds lovely, doesn't it? ID4D, it has a partnership with the United Nations and the WEF and the Euro Commission and the GSMA. This was an interesting one. It is the Global System for Mobile Communications. It is an association, a nonprofit, that represents mobile network providers' interests. It's the digital ID for your phone that'll eventually progress probably to a microchip that is implanted in you. Step one, get it on the phones, get you used to having a digital ID on your mobile phone. And so the GSMA is part of this whole partnership. Next, we come over to the WEF, the World Economic Forum. They are considered the main thought leader when it comes to digital ID, and the WEF sets the global agenda for the frameworks of what they roll out. Now, you can look through their white papers and the reports. I've listed them here if you want details. Now, one thing to note with the WEF, Larry Fink, it's probably a name you've heard of, especially when it comes to the Trump administration. He is a board member of the WEF, but he also happens to be the CEO of BlackRock. And he also is part of Trump's inner circle. Trump has aligned himself with the technocrats, the billionaires, the globalists. Trump will be part of rolling out the digital ID. He's not going to stop it. The last entity is ID 2020. This is a US-based NGO alliance. It's a nonprofit. Okay, it was formed in 2014. Again, this goes back years and years and years in the planning. Their goal is to promote privacy-protecting digital ID that's aligned with the UN Strategic Development Goal. This ID 2020, this alliance, is a public-private partnership with all the major corporations. We're talking your big tech corporations, your big healthcare organizations, your big IT infrastructure organizations, your big financial institutions as well. I just listed out a few, but I wanted to highlight Microsoft, Accenture, Gavi Vaccine Alliance, and MasterCard. So out of ID 2020, Gavi and MasterCard, and Gavi is the Vaccine Alliance, they partnered to create a digital vaccine record to track children in underdeveloped countries. It uses MasterCard's technology. Gavi is the vaccine passport part of the digital ID. Gavi has an alliance with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the WHO, UNICEF, and World Bank, and others. Now, Gavi says clearly that digital ID innovation is central to its mission. Digital ID identification is central to the mission of a vaccine alliance. Let that sink in. The next partnership that came out of ID 2020 is Microsoft and Accenture, founding alliance partners of ID 2020. Together, they built a blockchain-based identity prototype using biometrics and blockchain to give undocumented people digital ID. And of course, there will be many more steps to come where all the infrastructure railways are aligned to connect everything you do, say, are, buy, sell, whatever, online, whatever is digital, it's all connected to you. But these are the four main players behind it: the UN, the World Bank, the WEF, and ID 2020.
And all of them are Edomites, see? Esau, Edom. All right. So everybody's talking about this, man. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 13 and 16. It says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." Right, that word mark. All right, let's go into it real quick, right? And we got to keep doing it. This is deadly serious. Deadly serious, man. Charagma.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
It says a stamp, an imprinted mark, okay, of the mark stamped on the forehead of the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. Right. Thing carved, sculptured, graved work of idolatrous images. A mark branded upon horses. So when you go down here in the Strong's definitions of charagma, it says from the same as G5482, a scratch or etching, right? A stamp as a badge of servitude. All right, it's going to come a day when you're going to have to pick either you're going to serve the Lord or you're going to serve this devil. Okay, let's go into that, the root word of charagma.
Strong's G 5482. Charax. Charax.
Charax, right? It says a pail or a stake, a palisade. This is going to be the needle, right? This is going to be the needle. You go down here to Strong's definitions. It says to sharpen to a point. To sharpen to a point, right? Let's go into the root word of charax. And this goes into the data that it wants to collect. And he calls of all. Why does he call us all? So he can track you. All right? You're going to be a slave to the system. Grapho.
Strong's G 1125. Grapho. Grapho.
Right. It says to write with reference to the form of letters, to delineate or form letters on a tablet, parchment, paper, or other material. Right, on those chips. To write with reference to contents of writing, to express in written characters, to commit to writing things not to be forgotten, All right? To write down, to record. Right. This is the system being set up, man. All right, that's why it's a heavy cry. All the brothers are letting everybody know that this is the mark of the beast. All right, they're setting up the beast system, and they're going to implement that digital ID, and sooner or later they're going to put it inside your body, man. All right, that's what's going on. And he calls of all, both small and great, free and rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hands or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. That's where it is, man. Okay, and Tawadi Habashim Yahushua for giving us great teachers and leaders that can warn us. And Tawadi Habashim Yahushua for wanting, all right, us to know, Lord willing, we be a part of that elect that actually do know that this is the mark of the beast. Like say Shalom, man. Don't take that mark.